On today's episode of Where's Your Head At, we are thrilled to welcome Maddy Macrae to the studio to chat all things content creation, podcasts, and dating in 2023.
You may have seen one of her hilarious. I can't put hilarious and her together.
Yeah.
You may have stumbled across one of her hilarious TikToks or Instagrams, so be prepared for some of Maddy's funniest dating stories and how she comes up with her entertaining content. You may have stumbled across one of her hilarious videos on TikTok or Instagram, so be prepared to hear some of Maddy's funniest dating stories and how she comes up with her entertaining content.
Hey, Maddy.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the studio. Well, we're in your studio, so
Yes, welcome.
thank you for having us.
You're on my turf, thanks. Thanks for being here.
That's all right.
Sydney is boiling today. I am
Hottest-
melting.
Yeah, hottest day in 2 years.
Is it?
Yeah, crazy.
I'll literally repeat what I said before. It's because I've rocked up.
Uh-huh.
It's when I touched down.
No, all three of us together.
Right,
Yeah,
well, that's it. We're
It's a sauna.
Yeah. You should be saying it's because of us.
Yeah,
you know what
thank
I
you.
mean?
Oh, okay, yes, because of Anna and me have just touched down in Sydney.
No,
We're
no,
no.
You'll get used to it.
From Melbourne, you're up in Sydney.
Yeah, and we really are experiencing a hot day. I'm sweating.
Well, you've got jeans on.
I'm about to take my pants off, guys.
Safe space.
Please
don't
don't.
You have some of the funniest TikTok content I have ever seen. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. It's hilarious. Matt and I were like binge watching
Before we came
your
in.
TikTok.
The
before we came
best
in.
one was, I think it's the one that's done the best is the clitoris one.
The clitoris
Yes,
one.
yeah.
Very
Clitoris.
funny.
Yeah, she's at a party and she's being ignored at a
Yes.
party. She's put on her nicest dress. That one or the one with the flower?
The one with the flower.
the flower.
Because sometimes I play the clitoris and then other times I have the flower. That one.
Oh, they're both hilarious. I think the other one is at the party.
Yeah, so she's being ignored at the party
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
talking to the left lap. Or I have.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That one was good.
It's so, just true. What's a
has-
clitoris?
Where is she?
What is it? Tell me what the clitoris is.
The clitoris flower one has 22 million views, which
Yeah.
is crazy, but I think it has so many views because it's so relatable. Like, Matt was like literally like, oh, I can relate to that. I have no idea where it is. Like, me and Matt have this running joke because we talk about sex a lot on our podcast.
Yeah, so do we.
Yeah. And he's like, what's foreplay? And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, he is just like the epitome of what's wrong with men.
Yes, but see, yes, agreed. I actually want to change the title of foreplay though. I would like it to be called during play. Because I think
Yeah.
there's like a wrong perception that it has to only happen before, and that the
Yes.
main event is just penetrative sex.
That's so true.
It's all a game, and sex shouldn't be so linear. It's just like kissing, foreplay, penetration.
You're
coming,
right.
And I feel like it's a long game.
See, that makes it a lot more exciting.
I
You
think,
know what I
yeah.
mean? It's kind of like mixing things up.
Yeah. Are you guys Friends fans?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
You know
God,
the
yeah.
scene with the
Yeah.
7 when she's explaining the erogenous zones to
What
Chandler?
season?
Oh, very early on.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with
She
this.
explains that there's 7 erogenous zones on a female, and she draws a diagram, and then he's just like, you go 1, and then you go 2, and then 1, and 2, and she just keeps going that you bounce between them all. You don't just go hard
So
on
you
7.
See,
just
this is
don't go
great
straight
advice.
for
Well, never. Yeah,
Yes,
never.
nah.
the. So I've been
Foreplay.
doing it wrong this whole time.
Yes.
Your
You know-
takeaway from today.
I just want to stress everyone. I'm clearly kidding. I am amazing.
Wow.
I'm amazing. But
I
it's
don't
just an
know.
ongoing joke.
I'm so good.
Yeah.
I know where the clitoris is.
I know where it is. I love that joke. I've never had a bad review.
No.
You know what? You should actually, because your like TikTok content is just like so engaging, I feel like you have the power to really help women. Like, you could do a self-help TikTok
I should.
for men. I feel
my
like this
God,
could be a
yes.
good content direction.
I should. I could try that. I just find that like the algorithm sometimes it just wants you to do the same stuff, which is why I just make
Yeah.
fun of sex.
Fair.
I just say that it's embarrassing, but you know what? I think that's a new place to go. Self-help for men.
You can try. You
mean,
can practice
we
on
could be
me.
helping a
Yeah,
lot
you
of
could.
women
I
out
could
there.
be your first
See
student.
this flower right here? You don't smash it.
That made me laugh.
smash it.
That made me laugh because you see that in pornos, and I think a lot of guys think that
Do you?
that's actually what
pornos,
women
really?
want.
Yeah, no, in porn because porn is directed.
yeah,
they
like
just
kiddish.
smash
And
it.
and it's like guys. I think guys think that's what women want, and then,
Yeah, but that's also because the ladies in porn are also screaming as if it's the best sex they've ever had, but they're lying.
Yeah, they're definitely
there could be
lying.
nothing getting enjoyed. I don't
No.
have one, but I could not imagine getting slapped on it. Would be an amazing
don't
thing.
have one
Could be an
now.
amazing touching feeling.
There's something about the pitch of their screaming. It just gets higher and higher. And when it gets that high, you're like, she's faking that.
Yeah.
It's like when it's that high,
That's pain.
only dogs can hear it. She doesn't like that.
So you're telling me they're faking that as well?
You're telling me porn's not real?
Yeah.
What?
Not real.
Then next you're going to tell me Santa's not real. Gee whiz.
Who's going to tell him? That sketch, actually, the one that you're talking about. So there's a flower on the ground, and I just have a guy kind of smashing it around and moving it around. I got that idea from a date, not because it happened to me, but he told me in the date about it. He was the one that gave me the idea. And then finally, he tried to convince me that he wasn't like that.
Oh, no. And
then
he did it.
Well, did he do it?
Well, yeah. And I've titled that
Typical
sketch.
man.
I've titled that sketch Whack-a-Mole because it's like he's playing with the clitoris like it's whack-a-mole.
You said something like that, didn't you? In there? Or
It's
you
not
called-
whack-a-mole.
Yeah, you say
That's
something.
No,
so
like
you're just
funny.
whacking, just smash it.
So do you get a lot of inspo from people that you're dating? Yeah.
Yeah, a
I
lot
can
of the time.
imagine.
And I was going to ask, how do you get the other content as well? Like, how do you think of the one with the stomach and how the drinks are coming in? Like, how do you think it's so obvious, but
for
it's
anyone
not?
listening,
It's so
we're just-
obvious.
Everyone who's listening, because we're just not describing these TikToks well.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go binge.
Yeah.
Maddie's
Let me
TikTok.
Well,
try and
explain it the best way.
I personify things a lot. My type of comedy
Yes.
sketches is personification. So I will pretend to be inanimate objects,
Yeah.
often
yeah.
the clitoris, and then my most popular ones is the ones in the stomach. So I pretend to be like a lady with the clipboard. She's the stomach, and she's like, welcome, and then all the alcohol comes in, and it's a big hot mess and party.
Yeah.
That one I actually was inspired by a stand-up comedian's routine that was like 40 years ago. He has a stand-up routine called Party in the Stomach, Jim Brewer.
Okay.
And I was laying in bed at night, and I just had this memory of going out when I was 18 and eating nothing all day, but lining the stomach with a slice of bread. Because you get
Yeah.
drunk faster on little money, but you try to prevent a hangover, but it never works.
Yeah.
No,
And
it
that
doesn't.
was my first stomach skit, and that was the first time. That one has had 21 million views.
Wow.
That was my most viral video, and so I've kept that going as a series. I keep
Yeah.
doing-
So good.
yeah,
They're
keep
very
doing stomach
entertaining.
ones. They're fun.
Very.
So how did you get into TikTok? Where did it all start?
I'm an actor. I'm a trained actor, and I think that if you ever ask a content creator when they started, they always say COVID. And it's COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
In 2021, I wasn't working in my retail job, and I wasn't getting any acting work because all productions had closed down.
Yep.
I was really bored.
Yeah.
And I just made little skits. Well, actually, no, I just did lip sync videos, which is what you still see on Reels and TikTok. And then I did one skit that went viral in September of 2021, which was actually when you go to your parents' house and they use that classic joke of good afternoon, and they think it's the funniest joke in the world. When you wake up at 8, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, good afternoon.
you slept
yeah.
Thanks, Dad. Yep,
Yeah.
funny. It's afternoon
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
slept in a little bit. So
Dad
that one went
jokes.
crazy, and that was the first time I did a skit.
Yeah.
And then I just went from there, and then it's just blown up in the last year.
They're just so relatable. Now that you've said it, because I actually didn't know you were an actress, now
Yeah,
it
it
makes
makes sense.
so much
Yeah.
sense
Yes.
for an actor. Yeah, because I have a friend who's also an actor, and I feel like, you guys have a similar style.
Yeah,
And
mannerisms and
Yes.
yeah.
So
that's right. Yeah, I have the skills of acting, but I did a degree in film editing. So
wow.
I didn't kind of stumble upon it. I did have the skills there. I just had to kind of adapt it for social media, and it just kind of worked. It was magic.
Well, now you have your own podcast and you have to edit videos, so this is all tied in perfectly.
It just all happened. I did that first degree when I was 18, and I was like, I'm never going to use this degree ever. And then here I am using it. It's great.
This is why you do degrees where you actually
Yes.
have an interest in things, because somehow it's
It's gonna
seems
come
to
round.
find its way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon.
So good.
Do you feel the pressure of constantly trying to think of new content?
Absolutely. At the moment, I'm in this kind of weird rut where I'm focusing on the numbers too much, and it's bad because I don't
Yeah.
want to. I just want to put out good content that I find funny. If I find it funny, somebody else is going to find it funny.
Yeah.
But I think that I call it the content treadmill, where you just well, the algorithm's going to punish me if I don't post it on a certain day, and I just have to remember that my audience is there, that they're loyal and they're there for me, and
Yeah.
I don't have to hit 22 million views every time.
No.
I just have to be happy with the work.
I have a theory that when I post a video,
It's going to go
shadow
viral.
banned?
no, it's I have a theory that my phone is jinxed. So we get the video sent to us.
It's
and
not.
And I'm like, Anna, your videos just go so much more viral than mine. Like mine are just, I reckon my IP.
It's just that my editing's better.
I think my IP on my phone is jinxed or something. I'm like,
Matt can't take any sort of like constructive criticism, even from like an algorithm.
I just think there's something.
He's like, it's not me.
It's not me.
It's the algorithm.
This is great content. It's probably pretty average. I'm just happy with it myself, to be fair.
I'm so funny.
What's your like key tips to someone who wants to succeed on TikTok? Someone like Matt, who the algorithm is against.
It's shadow banned my phone, not even my account.
How can they beat the algorithm?
I think that you have to change your mentality that it's not a game to beat. You just have to be consistent, and you have to replace the word algorithm with audience.
Okay.
So you're making it not for an algorithm. You're making it for your audience, and the ones that are there that are showing up for you there, they're the ones you make the content for, and the rest will come.
Yeah, I love those people that are there. You're my OGs if you're listening.
Yeah.
All 5 of them.
Yeah, all 5. You're coming with me.
Love you.
Yeah, love you all. You're coming with me.
You know what?
No,
5 is better than 0.
Oh, yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah, one's better than none.
I'm one of those.
He's the one watching it 5 times in a row. It's just me.
So you got to be your own biggest fan. And if you're not, no one else will be.
TikTok is a very sometimes I find TikTok to be a very negative place. Have you found that? Obviously, you post very like funny and like uplifting and comedic content. Have you ever received like hate?
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Really?
Comedy is always at the expense of someone, and someone's going to get offended. And they always do. Like,
course.
I make fun of men, and some guys have like a real good sense of humor about it, and they're like, yeah, this is fucking funny. But then I have other guys that are just like, oh, not all men. And then you're just like, I'm not saying that all men are shit at finding the clitoris, but some are. Because
I mean, a lot
Mate,
are.
I was about to say, you find one that knows what a clitoris is. Probably is.
We can do some stats for you if you'd like.
There's a big portion of men that I know probably don't even know what the word clitoris.
No. Do they just think a woman has like one hole when she has 3? Like,
there you go.
No, they definitely. I'm not going to say that. Before I go too far. Yeah, before I go. I was going to say I definitely know this. But
Matt's like stopped verbally talking. He's just like laughing. He's like,
yeah, I didn't want to put my foot in my mouth.
No, good call.
If you get what I mean, I'd rather.
Yeah, there's editing. We can cut it out. It's a safe space.
We're unedited.
It's a safe, hot sauna space.
Yes.
Let it out. We'll cut it out.
Yeah.
I definitely get hate. But it's mostly from conservative men. I think also, like, we're in a country where it's like very normal for a woman to be dating, whereas in maybe other places it's not so common. So if that video, the thing about TikTok and Instagram is like that video can kind of go anywhere in the world, and if it kind of finds people that are not so used to a woman going on dates before marriage or having sex before marriage, then they can. I think it's less of a me thing. It's more of a like they're just not used to it.
Their culture.
wow. So you get like. Your videos get sent to people like how do I say it? Like your videos get shown to people who are super, super conservative.
Sometimes it's kind of stopped because like I think what happens is like when you're posting the algorithm does figure out who your audience is and will kind of send it to them. So like obviously I get sent to Australia a lot, in America, UK. But when I started posting on the podcast Instagram, it was fresh. And I forgot that my audience wasn't there. And so then the algorithm's like, where do we put this? And it kind of showed it to everyone. And then I was like, ooh, wrong audience. Oh, let's ease them in. And then the algorithm finds the people.
What's some of the worst hate you've had, if you mind?
I've been called like, can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
Fuck, of course you can.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
I've been called a slut and a whore and like go back to the streets, all that jazz, or like she'll never find a man, she'll be 40 and old and wrinkly and blah, blah, blah.
That's fucked.
Imagine, this is what got one of my girlfriend's TikToks went viral. Should I follow that on this episode?
We haven't announced it yet.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just say Jen's. One of Jen's.
Yeah.
One of Jen's TikToks went viral on my.
Recent breakup.
Yeah. One of Jen's TikToks went viral of me, and I was reading through the comments, and people just comment fucking like.
Yeah, it's wild.
Why do you like? I would never think to go out of my way and comment something like they do. Like
they can hide behind a keyboard though. And like you probably go to their profile and they don't have a profile picture. They have more courage because they're in the comments. If they see you in real life, or if they saw a live comedy show, nobody would ever say that to
They'd
you.
ask me for a photo, probably.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Matt. Like,
No, I'm kidding. No,
it is like that. Like, I feel like TikTok has so many keyboard warriors, and it actually scares me.
It's scary.
I just can't believe you go out of your way to comment it. That's what,
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around it either. But I
it's
mean,
like-
I feel like the thing with TikTok is like people want to say outrageous things in the hopes that their comment will go viral.
Yes.
And so they're like actually like trying to say maybe things that are even more left of field than even they believe.
They're like troll baiting or something.
Yeah.
I find people do that too, that I know that they're just trying to get me to respond, because I have replied once and then they're like, oh my God, she replied. And so I was like, oh, okay, so you don't hate me. You were just wanting me to reply to you and it worked.
Yeah, you won.
Yes,
for that round only.
Okay.
Do you ever like feel like deleting any videos, or have you deleted any videos?
I have, yeah.
Right.
It's been a long time since I did, but very early on, I'm more conscious now of like who I can offend and like doing the wrong thing because my audience is so large. When I first started, I was like, well, funny, throw.
Yeah.
Just threw them out. And so like in the beginning, that's when I got some feedback that I was like, oh, okay. No, I didn't mean it that way. The joke got misconstrued and I've taken it down. But it's been a really long time since I've taken them down.
What was the content where you
deleted
I
it?
remember.
Yeah.
Yes, the most recent one, which was probably like almost a year ago that I deleted, I was pretending to be a woman on a date, and it was like if she was honest, if she could be honest. And I was making jokes about like not paying on the date, or like kind of like, you know, faking her wallet, being like,
See, I like that.
That's great content.
It was. I think I offended some people, and I was like, oh, okay. And
How would you offend them?
You offended like males?
I was females as
Feminist?
well.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, would you?
I think, and I was just like trying to do it in a sarcastic way to be like, lol, this is funny. But I think people thought that I was being serious.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm actually being sarcastic.
Yeah.
And I took it down. I'm less sensitive about it now. I probably would have left it up, but I just was like, no, I can't handle the hate right now, because I get like the comments are so positive.
Yeah.
And then like the moment I get a bit of hate, I'm like, everyone hates me. I'm gonna get cancelled.
Have you ever turned comments off on a post?
Never. But I have deleted comments before.
Yeah.
We turned to
We've turned
We
them off.
turned the
We've
comments
turned them off
off.
before.
What happened?
I mean, we had Harry Jowsey on our podcast, and he basically said that he hooked up with a trans woman.
Yeah.
And like people, I don't know where in America, it was like
It
Outback
went-
America.
It went, yeah.
The level of like transphobic comments were on a
Ignorance.
different
Yeah,
level. Like
ignorance.
I didn't even know people like that even still existed. I
Yeah.
think it actually was pretty eye opening. I was like, wow. And we spoke to him, and he was like, yeah, like if you guys can just maybe like, what is it when you can put a
Ban on some
ban
of the
on
words.
words?
Yes, yeah,
and,
restrict it, yeah.
restrict words, and
We've had a couple of other
deleted
ones
some
as
of the big
well.
ones.
We've because we like to interview people that people obviously don't always like from like reality TV and that.
Yeah, like we're
Yeah,
open to like
reality TV makes sense.
getting like the villains
Yes.
on. We like to hear their side of things.
Well, it's interesting, right? But
Yeah.
like people are so like one-way minded that it's almost like, well, you're a bad person for giving someone a platform.
Yeah, we
and
get
it's
to-
like,
we're
well, there's always two sides to a story. You're
There-
more than happy to see like the way someone's been edited by someone
Exactly.
else.
It's
Why
not.
not hear from them and then
Yeah.
make your own decision? I mean, the thing that we love most about having a podcast is just like hearing different sides and then making our own personal decision. And
Yeah.
that's something that I'm sometimes confused as to why everyone doesn't want to make their own decision. Like they just want to go with the crowd.
Yeah.
That's not what
Yeah,
we like.
we
and-
want to like hear
yeah.
from them, and we find it more
Yeah.
interesting than just getting on
Absolutely.
the like the most loved person from a show.
And you're not like
It's a bit
telling.
boring.
Yeah, how cliche than
Yeah,
getting
happy.
like the one that doesn't do any other podcast because no one wants them. We're like, yeah, we'll have you because it's going to be
Well, I
interesting.
feel like they're the ones that made the show interesting in the beginning.
Right.
Like there has to be a villain, and they're not in
Absolutely.
control of
I
the
grew up
edit.
watching WWE, and I always loved the bad guy.
Oh, okay.
Always loved the
Matt
villain.
does WWE.
I do it.
Do you?
Yeah, I
And
do
he's
it.
the villain.
And I'm the villain. Yeah,
So cool.
yeah, I love being the heel. I love the heel side of things.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
should
know
make
what the-
content about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should.
You should do WWE.
Maybe
content.
you can help Matt with his TikTok algorithm and help him unshadow ban himself.
No, the TikTok gods are just against me. They're working against.
I'm gonna check it out after.
Yeah, have a
I'll
look
give you
and
some
check.
pointers. I'll give you
Maddie
some
will
pointers.
post like one video on yours and it goes viral. You're like, fuck. Damn it.
Damn it. I think it's just because I'm so sporadic with what I post. Nothing has any.
Stick to a niche.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I'm going to do movie reviews now, do one, and then nothing again.
Yeah, because because Matt, you did one and it wasn't the best. I'm just going to put that out.
No, you have to commit. You have to commit.
Yeah.
Stick to one and just keep going, even if one fails.
How long did it take you to really like take off on TikTok?
I started in July 2021 and I took off in Feb. So 6 months of consistent posting.
See, Matt,
It's hard work. And people think that like
Oh, it's hard.
it's
work.
And that's like every day, maybe twice a day. Like it's consistent. But I was just doing it for fun. Like it wasn't a full-time job then. Now
Yeah.
it is. Now that it's a full-time job,
Yeah.
now I feel the stress because I'm like, this is my livelihood.
Yeah.
If I don't do well, if brands don't want to work with me, then I'm done. I'm going to go back to retail.
But also you have the podcast now.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
you've
Yeah.
become like your own basically
Brand.
personality. So
yeah.
you know.
It's been, I'm growing, putting fingers in more pies just in case.
yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Who's the biggest like celebrity or famous person that's commented on one of your videos saying "ha ha"?
Yeah.
I haven't had them comment, but Raven Simone follows me, and so we're like mutuals on TikTok. Raven Simone was from That's So Raven.
I love that.
Bullshit.
That's so
Day from
Raven.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
So she follows
Wasn't
me.
that Disney?
Yeah, it is a Disney.
Yeah, it's Disney. Yeah.
So she
I was
follows me.
Nickelodeon, not Disney. Though,
Oh, I
so
was a
I didn't.
Disney gal.
I was
Always
Nickelodeon.
Disney.
I was Nickelodeon.
Yeah, so
Once yeah,
she follows me.
That's
Well,
so
we follow each
cool.
other, so we're like technically friends on TikTok. So I could message her, but I haven't.
You could get her on the podcast.
You could,
That would
yeah.
be cool.
She's cool.
She's really cool.
You should just try shoot, well, as we
Just
call
try.
them,
Shoot
Hail
shots.
Marys. Hail Marys. Just throw them, see who you can get on the potty.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah, shoot your shots.
We've shot some big shots.
Have you?
I've thrown some Hail Marys.
And how do they land?
I mean, most
ghosted?
of them. I mean,
We sometimes get like
I've got a couple.
you've
good
done
ones.
better. You've done better than me. I got
Not
a big
that it's
grab
a
that we haven't got
competition,
on.
but I win it.
I got one the other day. I mean, I think that if when we're shooting these Hail
It's
Marys,
easier for a girl. I
it's
guess.
easier for a girl than me. And mine's a bit more. And
Not
mine's
men, just Matt.
just no, just
Specifically,
me.
Matt
Oh, I figured I'd
Zukowski.
get a better. No, but I think though that like I'm a bit forward coming. I say let's tee up the time. Like I don't even give them an option. I'm like
Wow,
let's.
that's good
Let's
energy.
when should we
Yeah.
tee up the time?
Yeah.
So I'm a bit more straight to it.
I think that's a good energy to have, though.
Yeah.
Like I'm not asking you. I'm
No,
just
I'm
saying.
just saying it's happening.
Yeah. When are you jumping on?
that's it.
And if they don't reply to me, you know what? If Chris Hemsworth doesn't want to reply to me, so be it.
Have you tried Chris Hemsworth?
I think I'm.
Yeah, I think we. No, we definitely have.
No, no, we are.
It's like this girl. I remember once I had this like follower, and they would like reach out to me every single day consistently, and like they'd be like, at 4 p.m. I'm sending you like a live like video link to like Zoom in with me, and she'd be like, I'll be waiting on it for like the next 30 minutes if you do, and she just like would keep doing it, and I was like, I don't want to like log on because like imagine if they're like wanking off or something
Yeah.
weird. But I was like literally every day for like months, she was sending me a live like Zoom link, and I was like, what the hell?
Were you upset when it stopped?
No, I was like,
Yeah, you're like, oh, she's
I
gone.
need the validation.
Yeah, give it to me. Where's she going?
I have this guy who replies to every story, mummy, with like a little love heart. And I hated it to begin with, but now I'm like, where's my mummy?
Yeah.
Can you tell me? Mummy?
Like we've had stalkers before. That when we announced we're in
person?
relation, no, over
No,
Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Mine was.
Time.
I definitely did my research. She was in England. She would send me photos, but
Yeah.
like not like I couldn't see. But when she sent actual photos that I could click on, she was definitely in England. So I was like, oh, I'm safe here. It's like she's not gonna rock up. She'd say she's coming to Australia. So I'd obviously ignore him, leave him the request. But she stopped, and I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, you were sad about
I was a
that,
bit
weren't
sad.
you?
I was like,
The
oh.
attention, the validation.
I was
Yeah.
like, who's a new guy?
I got broken up with, remember?
Yeah, that's
I had like a stalker guy who I actually was like, is this my ex? Like, I'm just like, you're putting in too much effort.
You're not-
And I posted it with my now fiance that we were like, it was like our hard launch. And he like literally sent me a breakup message.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry.
I think this is actually really common for ladies on social media, is that as soon as they tell them that they're like off the market, they're like, well, I don't have a chance with you anymore, and they unfollow. Like I've seen it heaps. And
we said that before.
I'm no doubt if I was to get into a relationship, I think that would happen.
Wow.
What did we literally say on the way here? That
Yeah.
we dropped a bunch of followers and
dropped
we
a bunch
announced that
when
we were in relationships.
Well, look, speaking of relationships, we are
Great.
going to talk all things relationships
Nice
next.
pivot.
Nice transition.
Very good.
Yeah, who knows? Pro over here.
Yes, nice. 2 years, was it?
It's hot in here.
It is. It's warm.
Yeah.
warm.
This is fun.
Yeah.
It's good.
There's no real, like, you know, it's just fun.
Yeah.
chatting.
No, that's what a podcast
chat.
is.
Yeah.
Just talk shit.
Sometimes we get lost in trying to get the story from someone and we're like, you know,
What's the tea?
yeah, what's the tea?
What's the tea?
Who's kissing who after the show? I
Okay.
think I might start it.
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, so what is your relationship status at the moment?
Yeah.
Severely single.
Severely
As in,
single.
like, I've given up.
What?
Really? No
As of now, no, I'll come back. I'm just on
Okay.
a break. I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of the apps.
Yeah.
I just am not a fan of them anymore. And I live alone at home and I work from home. So it's kind of hard to meet people in person. So I'm just
That's
like, you know
fair.
what? The universe is telling me to.
You did say that before, your phone's pretty dry.
Yeah, I didn't have to put it on Do Not Disturb. Yeah, I do not have that problem. Nobody messages me.
Maybe Pizza Hut might, saying they've got some deals or Domino's.
Oh,
so-
my friend saying mummy, like, where's mummy at?
Where's
Come on.
my, yeah, come on.
Where's my mummy message?
How
Yeah.
good is living alone though?
I
Just on
love
a
it.
side note, because I lived alone before I met Michael, and it was the best thing I ever did.
It is great. I do love
So
it.
good.
I don't know if I could do it.
You don't know? Why not?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. Like, I love my alone time, but I think that, like,
He thinks he's too needy.
I think
But
I'm-
I think that it would do you the world of good.
I have thought that as well. Yeah, I have.
Do you have
definitely.
housemates now?
I don't know what I'm going to say because
Okay.
it's where I'm at.
We'll
So,
skip right past that.
We'll skip right past that. Because I don't know when this is coming.
It's like, I don't know.
I don't know how. Yeah. It's just,
Good. Slide on past. I live alone. I've been living alone since August. I was living with my sister prior to that for most of COVID. And then, I just moved into an apartment by myself.
Took the plunge. I love it.
I did. Well, yeah, I needed it. I was like, I'm too old to be in share houses now. I can't. Because living with her, it was different because she was my sister. So it wasn't
Yeah.
really a share house. I'm like, I can't do housemates. I can't.
Yeah, that's totally
do you have
fair
a
enough.
pet?
I'm cat sitting at the moment.
I was about to say I see you as a cat.
As a cat?
No, with
I
a
am a
cat.
cat. Meow.
With a cat. No, with a cat.
I'm not a cat lady, actually.
Not a crazy cat lady yet.
I'm picking up my puppy on Friday.
What
So,
sort of puppy?
Cavoodle.
Oh my god, I want a cavoodle.
Yeah,
you
so-
just hit the stop for
You
me.
did.
Nat's a sausage dog lover, but
I'm
I'm
a-
all about
I
the
love a
cavoodle.
Dachshund.
I do love a Dachshund as well. They're very cute. I was tossing up between the two breeds when I went for a cavoodle.
Really?
Oh my
Well,
god,
you-
toss that between me and Nat, you landed on me.
I'm the biggest lover of sausage dogs.
They're very cute. I think the only reason I didn't is because they have health concerns.
I think it's a little bit. I think
It's a fallacy?
Yeah, I think it's just what everyone you hear the
In
word.
your own heart, you
Yeah.
think that.
Yeah, no, I think you hear those stories more than you
Yeah.
hear like people that
Yeah.
like, you know.
actually have experiences. Because
Yeah.
one of my good friends, Adele, she's a content creator in Melbourne. She has a sausage dog.
It's a.
Adele
I
Murray.
can't say it. Yeah,
You can tell later.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I told a story on the podcast about fuck.
Edit it out.
Edit
Or you
it.
just don't want the editors to hear. Or
No, I don't
just-
care.
No,
if
yeah,
edit,
edit it out.
I'll let it.
Go for it.
Yeah, we'll edit. I messaged her because me and Jen, my ex, whatever you call it,
Yes.
yes, my ex, we started a page for like dash hounds and we're posting ones that we spotted around Melbourne.
Yeah.
And we're like, fuck, we need this to take off. Who's like got a
Adele.
Adele. So I messaged Adele and I was like, hey, can we meet up? I want to like my dog, like Jen's dog, like to meet your dog. We're trying to get a photo and sneakily like tag him, you know, get like the content. And then she goes, yeah. I said, can we have a fur play date? I can't remember the exact
He
word.
basically slid in.
And said, can our babies have a fur play date? And she's like, Frankie would love that, and I do as well.
And then Matt was like, oh shit, I need a friend. I need to tell her.
And I
need to tell
go,
her.
okay, I'll double check with my girlfriend when we're free. And then she goes, oh, wait, what? And she was so awkward. It was stressed.
I am cringing.
Yeah, it was so
Ah,
awkward. It was.
well, look, it kind of it sounds like a line.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it
sound
does,
like a lie.
but I was-
To be fair on her.
To be fair, like I had photos of Jen. Just
Anyway, if
Anyway,
you've broken up,
yeah.
now you have.
Now-
so maybe,
now I can go
Maybe
play
you can
Who
have
knows?
a furry play date.
So Adele has Frankie, yeah.
Yes, yeah, and I have my dog. I think I'm calling him Ben on Friday. I'm picking him up. So
Ben.
living alone's been great, but I'm like, I need a friend and
Need a companion.
I'm getting a dog.
Yeah, Adele comes up in my
Nice.
For You page because of my
Oh, he's back to
algorithms.
Adele.
Because of my algorithms with the dash hounds.
Yes, it keeps coming up. Yeah. So just be up I'll come up in your For You page because it'll be dog content from now on.
Only dash
Yeah.
hounds only.
Yeah. Well, okay, whatever. You've
Cavoodles.
restricted the word cavoodle.
Yeah.
Cannot come up.
Yeah,
Only
any other
sausage
doodle-
dog
any other
dash.
dog brands are out.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your biggest red flags, because obviously you said you're severely single.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm assuming there's a few red flags that maybe you've seen recently in
Yeah.
the dating world.
I think this is general. I don't like people who lie on
Yes.
their profile, and this happens a lot with people showing up not being who they say they are.
Like
In
a
what-
catfish situation?
Yeah, just about appearance. And it's like, not that I'm shallow. It's just like, just upload your photos and give me the correct height, and like, let's just be truthful.
Does that happen a lot?
So you think,
Really?
so like, so height-wise, yes. Anything else? Like heavy filtering or?
I wouldn't think men do that. Like,
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're a tall guy, so you've never had to. You've never had to. And like, as a tall girl, I actually don't care if someone's shorter than me, but I care that they care, because then they make a big deal about it.
Really?
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
Because I've dated guys shorter than me, like I don't care, but then they, I don't know, they come with a chip on their shoulder about it. That's not massive though. I think that's just pretty standard. I just want someone who makes me laugh, and I don't know. I don't even know what my red flags are. The last guy that I dated though tried to write off my TikTok success, which was really bizarre.
What?
It was really strange.
What do you mean?
As in, like, he was a finance guy that just started making TikToks that were like the same formula as mine. Actually, I reckon we shouldn't actually talk about that, because he'll come for me. This guy he really wants to be TikTok famous. He's scary. But he was just a little too into himself.
Wow.
And I'm just not a fan of that. I just want someone down to earth. But I don't even know. Like, I just get a vibe off people. I just want a good vibe. But okay, this is the biggest thing that I'm finding. The age that I'm at,
Which is
29.
29,
I
yeah.
cannot believe the amount of people my age that don't want to have a serious relationship.
Yeah.
Everyone I meet, I think it's because they're coming out of long-term relationships. Like, they've met someone
Yeah,
in
yeah,
their early 20s, and then they've like broken up. So they're like, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've been single for 2 years now. I'm like, I'm ready to have
I'm ready to
something
meet someone.
How did your
meaningful.
last relationship end?
Really badly.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
sorry. Do you want to talk about it?
I actually haven't spoken about it much, only because she's also, sorry, I dated a girl. She
Okay.
also is in the performing
Okay.
world. And so I
Okay.
kind of don't want to talk too much
Fair.
about it. We both have our sides of the story to tell. But
Yeah.
it was not a good ending. And like, it ended up like, we're not talking, blocking kind of energy. It was really not fun. And
That sucks.
we like kind of were in a breakup over like a year. Like, it took a year to end in the year of 2020. So throughout all the lockdowns.
I was about to say
That's
the most
so
roughest year to
hard.
do it as
It
well.
was really, really hard for
Yeah.
both of us, and then it just was like really messy, and so that fucked me up for a while, and I've like been in therapy for ages for it, and then now I'm like, okay, all right,
I'm good.
and now I'm like, okay, universe, I'm ready, and the universe is like, no.
It's a moment that you're like, okay, I'm not ready anymore. And I'll be like, here you go.
So would you date another girl then, or are you,
I
was
would,
it,
yeah, I date both. I think that right now I'm probably leaning towards men only because I have like a little bit of PTSD, but I know
Fair.
that like her and my experience with her isn't all women, but I was
Yeah.
just like, maybe there was just an energy there that I was just like, I just have PTSD. Like, I've gone on a date before with a woman, like the second date I was on, I was like having a panic attack, and I don't know why.
Really?
I don't know if it's a gender thing, and I'm still dating both, but I don't know.
Wow.
It definitely opens the pool up a lot more for
It
you.
really
Jeff.
does.
So
Yeah,
I don't know why
it
you're so
does.
grim about like you're gonna find someone.
That's
You
like
have
no,
like
you
a
can't
lot more
talk.
of a
That's-
chance than like just
already
I
scary.
know than just
I know, I liked it. I am complaining, woe is me, but it's fine.
Yeah,
It's
like-
fine.
But good on you for going to therapy. Like, I can actually speak for both of us. We both had really bad breakups.
Yeah.
Before our now partners,
Mm.
and yeah, like, I think.
I'm in
we
therapy at the moment.
Yeah, you are in therapy now. I could have probably done a bit of therapy. I mean, I was in therapy with a biased therapist.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it was my ex's therapist.
No,
I've
well,
actually never spoken about that on the podcast. It's actually a huge conflict of interest and should never have happened. But anyway,
I mean, yeah, that's probably not the right place to go. You should probably go to a mutual. You should probably go to like a Switzerland mutual
Yeah, someone subjective.
that has no idea who either of
maybe
you are.
I have PTSD over therapy, and now I've just
Maybe.
I think I've just had a realization,
An
guys.
epiphany in front of us.
Isn't this
Light
therapy?
bulb.
Aren't we in a
Yeah, I
therapy
mean,
session right
We
now?
actually
That's
went
right.
on another podcast, and they were like, "Don't go
do
to
therapy, have a podcast."
Yeah, well, I
So
think
true.
that's what this
That's
is.
just-
Well, because most of my podcast is just making fun of my dating life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
that's why we started this podcast, because we were like, this our relationship stories.
We were
are
in the same
fucked.
place as you.
Okay, so in a year's time, I'll be fine.
Well, it
But
took
we-
us
but-
2 months, and we were just like, "Fuck, what
No,
do we
but
do now?"
The thing is we started the podcast and we were like both so all in on the podcast, and we were like, we need to remain single
Yes.
for the
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah.
And I feel like our like want to not have a relationship
That's why-
somehow brought us to relationships,
Yeah,
and we're
so
like,
we're
fuck.
"Damn it."
Rats.
Yeah.
That's really funny. The
The universe.
it works in strange ways.
Yeah, the
It does.
manifestation techniques, we didn't have them down pat.
No, we didn't know what we were doing back then.
Yeah. Do you have any funny dating stories or like your funniest dating story?
Yeah, these ones I've shared on the pod, and I've shared. This one is like the one that people respond to the most. It was the one I talked about in the pilot episode. I went on this date with a guy who I met on a set of a commercial.
Oh.
And he invited me back to his place. Like, we were just talking on DMs. We'd already met in real life, so we never actually had a date. And he was
Yeah.
like, do you want to come over to my house? Winky, wink. And I was like, yeah. And so then, like, I was driving he just gave me, like, a suburb. So I started driving to the suburb. And then, like, as I was driving, he gave me the address.
Oh.
And it was a car park at a beach. It was a car park.
So that's his house, you reckon?
Well, no, it was a van. It was a van parked on the beach car park.
Actors.
Yes, never date an actor. And he had his mattress in the van, and he had the back of the van open to the beach, and it was pitch black,
Romantic.
playing his guitar.
Yeah, you know what? That actually doesn't sound the worst.
Yeah, see the
It wasn't that bad, but we sat there and he serenaded me for an hour and a half. It was like a rock concert. Like, he was asking me for suggestions, and I don't mind a man.
You've just come.
Any requests?
You've literally come for, I'm assuming,
Yes, I was coming for
good-
one
thing only. She's ready to do
I
it.
didn't buy tickets.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't. What you doing? This ain't a gig. She sat there like serenading me for an hour and a half, and I was like too afraid to kind of make the first move. We'd like kissed a couple of times, and I was like, when are we gonna get in the back of your van? Like, I'm not happy about it being a van, but let's just do it.
Let's get it done.
Come on. So eventually, like, he stopped the concert. The concert ended after like 4.
Did you do an encore? he walks behind his bed. He's
One more
like,
song.
comes out for a third
yeah,
round.
comes,
But he like full had like the chords open on his phone. He was like asking me for requests. I was like throwing him curveballs. I was asking him to play like Chicken Fried by Zach Brown Band, like country songs. And I was like, come on. And I was just like, what is going on? It was just really funny. Eventually
my
we got into the back of
God.
his van. It happened.
Yeah.
Was
How
it-
was the set?
Yeah, I was about to say, was it worth the hour and a half?
No.
He-
But
did he know what a clitoris was?
no.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think he even tried to like attend to that area. I think it was just like in and out. But the thing is like he told me that he had this thing called relationship dick. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
I'd never heard of it either. Do you know what it is?
No, but I'm very
Relationship
curious
dick.
if I know what it is.
Well, he'd just come out of a long-term relationship, so he couldn't get hard.
Oh my
Because I was someone new.
God.
So it took him
That's
ages.
good. Wouldn't it be the off it? I don't know. I'm sorry.
No,
I don't
because
know.
he's like could be not pretending. He could be like, I'm still in love with my ex.
Well, they did get back together.
So he was still
So
in
he
love
was
with his
still in love.
ex.
So it was the truth.
Yeah.
It was the truth. But
I've never heard of relationship dick.
neither. I hadn't. I was like,
But that's
please
a
explain.
thing now.
Please
That
explain.
makes sense.
It makes sense, but I just had never heard of that term.
Okay, so this might be a bit. So he couldn't get hard,
Yeah.
and he also didn't attend to the.
No, but that's not the end of the story.
Oh, okay. Sorry, because I was
Because
like,
we were at his van, and we'd been there for an hour and a half listening to music, and then it took a while for his dick to join the party. I really needed to wee. And there were no toilets around, so I hadn't gone to evacuate the bladder.
Oh no.
And he finally was like ready to go, and he grabbed me by the waist so hard that I weed a little bit.
You know what?
It is what it is. I mean, that's
I
hot.
played it off.
It's hot. You know what?
Is it?
I don't. Yeah.
That's a fetish.
I don't-
We're
you
gonna
know
put
what?
that out there.
You know what?
He's into it. Okay, good.
No, I'm not into it, but like
whatever.
it takes a lot. We've spoken. It takes a lot to get
To-
me.
Turned
you
off.
off.
No, to get me like turned off. Like
Yes,
I
okay,
like.
so really
I-
grace.
yeah, like we have on the hotline and that, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this, you know, fair play. You know, fair play.
No, I'm into it.
Yeah, you know what? I can see the. I can
But
see.
yeah, I wet my pants a little bit, and I played it off that I was just like really wet for him because of his concert. So he was like really into it. So the sex part
You're actually
didn't
hilarious.
actually last that long. It was good.
Did he believe it? Was he like?
He was like, "Fuck yeah, she really into this. She loved me playing Chicken Fried. Fuck yeah."
Did he then go pick up the guitar and play another song?
No.
Was he like a rabbit type of like lover? You know,
I can't even remember because like that part, it wasn't even a focus. I was just lying there
Yeah.
being like, please be done. And it was quick. He was out and I was like, I'm going to go home now.
Oh my God.
Was there anyone around if it's a public, or was it too late for anyone to be there?
Probably. There were other cars there. I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Imagine going on a date with your partner to like a lookout, you know,
Oh,
to
and you
just
see-
have,
and you
and you see this happening. You'd be like, fuck, don't break up with me. I don't want to go back out there.
I can't.
I don't-
I can't.
I
Not
can't,
anymore.
don't do
None
it.
of that.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's too good.
Have you ever been ghosted or stood up on a date?
I've never been stood up on a date, but I get ghosted heaps of times on dating apps. I just think it's the
culture.
trend. You
Yeah.
message for a bit and then you never arrange a date and it never happens.
Have
So that
you
happens.
ever ghosted someone?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we all have, right? Matt thinks he hasn't, but he definitely has.
Oh, have you done like a mutual ghost where like
Yeah.
Yeah, we've discussed
then
it.
you've
a
both
fizzle.
ghosted?
Or a fizzle,
yeah,
yeah.
a fizzle is a ghost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just don't know who's at fault there, but you both were.
Well, I reckon you both reckon you've ghosted because I
Yeah.
reckon she goes, I ghosted him, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I
I
ghosted
ghosted
her,
her, yeah.
I ghosted her, whatever.
Yeah, it was me. It was
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Could have been me.
No.
yeah, no, absolutely, I've ghosted.
That's
Sometimes it's the only way because I feel like a message and having to like, give a reason why you don't want to space, it can be more hurtful.
Yeah, that's true. I think that too. Like sometimes you don't want like an essay like, hey, you're not really my type. This isn't going to work out. I'm just like, let's just, we're
Okay.
both not into it or whatever.
When do you think is the right time to send a message then, or not to? How long into dating someone?
As
you've-
in like when's acceptable
yeah,
to ghost and when
when's
do you
not
have to
to?
send
Yeah,
them?
we had
Yeah.
this
I
discussion.
think
the
if
other-
you've been on 2 dates, it's acceptable to ghost. If you've been on 3 or more, do you have a different opinion? I think 3 or more, they deserve a message.
2 good dates or 2...
Well, I'm assuming after the second date,
It's
the
all-
second date's bad.
But you've texted the whole... I don't know. It just be...
I think even with texting, I think it's like got to do with
yeah.
in-person contact. Like if after the second date,
I think you can read a room as well.
yeah, and
After
I
a second,
yeah.
you can read the room.
And
You
I
could
think
be
it's
like, "This isn't going
okay.
anywhere."
I think it's okay after a second date, but after a third, like if the second date went well and you chose to meet again, then they deserve a message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like dating is like so fucked. And like you kind of touched on it before, like everyone isn't or doesn't seem to be looking for
No.
a partner.
I also
Why is that?
I think that there's too much choice. Like, have you ever been,
Yeah.
like, if you're scrolling on Netflix and you, like, want to commit to a movie or a
And you
show, but you're like, oh,
can't.
but there's so many other options. Like, what
So
do I actually...
true.
And then, like, you start watching
That
it and
sounds
you're
like me.
yeah, you're like, you start committing to a movie and you're like, oh, it's not that good. I should have chosen the other one.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's the same thing. Like, somebody looks at your profile and swipes right on you, but they're immediately looking at someone else's profile.
Yeah, it's
So they're
so
not
true.
actually invested in you. If they saw you in real life, like there's a connection and like you start chatting and like you're the only one on their mind, there's just too many options.
Yeah.
And everyone's always thinking they can do better.
Everyone always thinks the grass is greener, but it's
Yes.
just not the truth.
Yep.
What do you
absolutely.
say, Matt? The
I'm just going to put the screen back on.
Oh.
That's the video. That's what happens.
Sad.
Do you know the password?
No.
There we go. Ask.
I just forget another zinger for a video.
You got the pee story.
Yeah, that was so good.
I can't believe it's real. That's real.
I mean, that's a lot of people's fetishes, though. They'd be like, "Fuck yeah."
I'm actually really proud of myself that I was able to control my bladder and stop because I was
Yeah,
so
that's good
full.
cleanse.
Oh, BETOOTA. Bet. OOTA.
Batuta.
They really don't have secure passwords, do they?
Yeah, not really. Hack into the system.
Right, where were we?
What was the question? I just
Dating
asked?
apps. Nobody wants to date, and I was saying they have more options, more choice.
Yeah.
That the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I reckon that's I get sometimes stuck in that wave of thinking.
And I'm guilty of it as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm swiping on profiles and I'm like, yes, and then I'm already looking at someone else's profile. And I think there's also like there's this girl called, I can't remember her name, but she has an account called Cheek Media.
Yeah.
And she was saying about there not being any community accountability because often like back in the day, a friend would set up a friend. So like you're not going to ghost someone who your friend has set you up
That's
with.
true.
You're going to actually commit. And if it doesn't work out, you're going to give a valid reason to say there wasn't a connection.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because of the apps, and it's same with keyboard warriors that we were talking about before,
Yeah.
But
you
on
won't get punished.
But on
It's
that
so true.
But on that comment though, in this world, because of social media, everyone knows fucking everyone.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Seriously, like you talk to 7 degrees of separation is now like 3 or 4. And like it's gonna get out that you've ghosted someone. It's gonna like tell it. You know what I mean? So that is the same thing.
Yes,
but I
but
do
then
believe
there is always someone else to swipe on.
So
You're like,
true.
well, I missed that one. Next one.
true.
The thing is that, like, no one wants, and it's such a true statement. Like, everyone always talks to us about this. Like, no one wants to settle down. Everyone thinks the grass is greener. But, like, people, are they eventually settling down, or are people just not settling down anymore? Or people are just, like, open to just kind of, like, keeping the doors
casual.
moving with casual relationships?
We're probably moving that way anyway. Like, if we think about how people are having kids later, or people are choosing not to have kids, like, the way we're moving in terms of, like, family life is really, it has changed.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
We had a sex coach on, and she
I
was
was about to say
talking to
that.
us a lot about how monogamy is kind of like on the way out,
Yeah.
and monogamish is kind of in.
Ooh, what is
So-
monogamish?
So monogamish is when you have a partner who you're committed to, but maybe guys will be like open to threesomes together,
yeah.
or
Or
open
like,
to like
one might be
seeing
hot,
a sex
yeah.
worker together, or
One might be working more, so you say, okay, well, if you need, might not have the sex drives might not link up, so they go, okay, you've
they
got a
can
bigger
have a
sex
night
drive,
off,
you can
or
go out.
Find your needs elsewhere. Wow.
Yeah, find-
yeah. So that's
Actually,
like
it comes up a lot on when there's a lot of people that write ENM. I can't remember what that means, but it's like something non-monogamy, where like they're open, they're in a relationship, but they're open to seeing people on the side. And
right.
profiles like that have come up for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see it being a trend. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Could you do it?
Nah.
I
I
don't
get
think
so jealous.
We're
Oh.
both so jealous.
I was-
I could be the one playing around.
Oh, I was about to
Absolutely, but
Yeah.
you can't.
No, you've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
You've got to,
And
you've
that's
got
the
to.
thing. It's like, are we real? Like, in theory, it's good, but like, also, like, I don't think jealousy is that toxic. Like, we always talk about how toxic it is, and we're the most jealous people ever. But I actually, now that I've been thinking about it more recently, I don't actually think it's that toxic. I think it's part of.
Are you
being
spinning it in a way
healthy.
that makes you feel a bit
But
better
it is,
about
like,
it?
if you're not jealous,
Means
then
you
you
don't
don't
care.
care.
Yeah, no, but someone that's jealous might argue that they do care. They just have enough confidence in themselves and in the relationship that the other person isn't going to do that.
Yeah, but that's called being secure, and like not a lot of us are secure. So I mean,
I guess it depends on your personality type, probably
don't
star
know.
sign.
Yes. Oh,
What
no.
would you
give up? I'm not-
Okay, sorry, I was
I
gonna-
have no idea.
would you say you're secure in a relationship? Or
Yeah. Yes.
okay, I see we've
But-
we have one.
It
Yeah.
depends on how.
Yeah, it depends on the other person as well, and
Totally.
what the
Of course,
because my
yeah.
last partner was incredibly needy, and so I was definitely the secure person. Whereas like my relationship before that, I feel like he was more secure than I was, but it didn't necessarily make me needier. I just felt like his level of security was higher.
Yeah, okay.
But I think I'm pretty confident and secure in a relationship. But it's
jealous.
been so long. It's been so long that I don't know if I'm like that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been
It's
that long. It's
different.
No, but
two.
like I used to fall into relationships so quickly. Like I
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
a serial monogamist, and I just went from
Yeah.
long-term relationship to long-term relationship, and now I'm just like, what the fuck?
What is
am
going
I
on?
doing
Yeah.
wrong? I had it together. Maybe I'm not so secure anymore, and everyone's like, she's a bit insecure. She's damaged.
I mean, I feel like, you know,
I mean,
I'm
it is-
30. If you're not a little bit insecure after being in the dating pool for that long, like
it
there's
is-
something wrong.
And it is past traumas in dating that make you insecure.
Totally.
So
Yes.
if you've got
Baggage.
Totally.
Baggage. I got my suitcase.
you
of-
got your
Yeah, oh,
Hey, guys.
fuck.
yeah, you bring it, carry it around with you
And
everywhere.
here,
Me and these two.
the porters out the back with some more.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, the van's full of mine out the back. You should have seen how he got here to Sydney.
Yeah, fuck.
Checking all our
Yeah,
luggage.
yeah.
So you say you don't like dating apps, you don't go out. If you were out, would you be able to go up to someone? Are you confident? Because you're striking as a very
I
confident
reckon.
person.
Yeah, I could. And this is funny because you've actually touched on a new type of content that I'm about to make. Is because I want to
You
start.
see, I've got the content, but just can't execute it.
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm going to ask people out in public.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to make content out of it.
so good.
On dates.
Not on dates, but I just want to like go to a dog park with my new dog and like
Cute.
try and meet someone in real life. But yes, I would do that. My issue now is that like I find the people that I like approach are like 21, and I'm like, oh, sorry, baby. Oh,
You can call me mama.
It's hard to yeah, you can call me mummy.
I have a fetish for being called buddy.
What age is your ideal partner if you had to like pick the like optimum day? I mean, optimum age.
Over the age of 27.
Okay.
And I'm 29.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, yes, I would date younger than that, but I find that in a different stage of my life.
I think that'd be too young if you
Yeah.
went younger than 27.
Yeah, I think maturity levels are real different.
And apparently men don't mature as fast as women.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably why.
Oh, so they say.
So they say.
That's
So
probably why
you've
it's
heard.
easier to date like a woman in some senses because
Yeah.
they are more mature.
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I was in my relationship with my ex-girlfriend, when it was good, it was great. It was just like a forever sleepover with your best
Yeah.
friend. But then when it got bad, it was bad.
Yeah.
And I find that like fighting with a
Isn't
woman
that the
is
best relationship?
hard.
Really? Yeah, trust me, I know. It's hard. It's fucking, it's near impossible.
We're hard.
See how quickly his tune changed? He's
Yeah, no,
I thought, well, I've
Can you
had a lot
imagine
of.
two of us together? Can you imagine us fighting? It's just like silent treatment on the next level. We're just both crying and not fighting and just like crying in the corner, not able to communicate our feelings.
What's your attachment style?
What are they? I can't remember.
Secure, anxious
Not
what is it?
anxious.
Anxious attachment. In therapy, I found out I'm anxious attachment.
Needy.
Yeah.
So I want to get it done right there and then.
Oh.
Don't you dare walk away. This is
Okay,
getting sorted
that's
out.
me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
I didn't know
too.
that was anxious attachment.
Actually, no. I
That's
need
anxious.
some space a little bit.
Yeah, and then there's avoidant.
Yes, I'm not
Avoidant,
avoidant. I will
yeah.
fight. I will fight. If it's fight or flight, I will
I'll
fight.
fight. Yeah, same.
I think that's
Yeah, put 'em
anxious
up.
avoidant. Is that one? I think
Probably.
that's one.
I don't know why I'm like that because it's not me.
What?
Like,
What is
just
it?
chill, like to go.
Yeah, but
If
Oh
I'm, and
my god! He forgets I'm like we fight all the time. He's-
like,
give me
any
strength.
woman that seems to get close to me, I bicker with. I don't know. Is it me?
Maybe-
Am I the
problem?
Am I the drama?
Am I the villain?
Am I? Yeah. What?
Yes, Nat. Yes, you are the villain.
I think I grew up with a mum and two sisters.
Yeah.
So
He's used to women.
I'm used to just
Yeah.
like, don't take shit.
Yes, yeah. But it's you. You don't
It's
like people
just-
walking away from you though. Like you want to get it sorted.
Yeah, because I sort of think it's like, why prolong this?
Yeah, that's
why?
true.
Life's so short. Like, let's just nut it out and
Yeah.
be cuddling again on the couch in
Yeah.
like 20 minutes, 10
Yeah.
minutes. Like,
Well, we don't cuddle on the couch.
but like, we go back to like benefiting us, planning the podcast, like, using
Back
it
to work. We
back
go.
to work.
Yeah, but we like the fights. The fight is
Yeah.
part of the content.
Yeah, I mean we do. At
Some
the start
fights,
of the,
can
at,
be fun.
At the start of the
We're
podcast,
toxic.
we weren't that open with the fact that we would fight all the time, and then it got to a point where we weren't talking, and we'd come into the podcast, like look at each other, and we'd be like, and I was like, me and Matt have just had a fight.
No.
FYI.
Sometimes before that we would fight before an episode and then act like nothing had happened.
And it was just like didn't feel sincere.
It's just we were like
we can't do it. We have to be honest
and then
with
you'd
everyone.
leave, and we'd just be like, oh yeah, that was all right. Okay, talk to you later. Sort of.
We kind of make up
We-
by the end of the podcast because we'd actually like find each other
Do you remember?
funny.
Sorry, this is turning into us, not you, but we would argue on the way into the podcast.
Yeah.
Like on the phone.
On
whole
the
time.
phone, get in, like sit down. All right, we've got to do this. So
Don't
let's-
worry, guys. We're not like that
Anymore,
anymore.
yeah.
We realise honesty is the best
It's-
policy.
yeah.
I reckon your listeners would like the honesty though.
Yeah.
Because like nobody's
100%.
on or perfect 100% of the time.
We
Yeah.
admit to when we're not on. Yeah?
We what?
We would admit when we're not on, and we
Good.
come in and
Yeah,
I'll be like, yeah, I'm not
absolutely.
on today.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm not.
Do you and your co-host argue?
No.
See, that's good.
We disagree on topics, but
Yeah.
no, it's mostly fun. Grace and I worked together and we weren't friends outside of work. This is my retail job.
Yeah.
Until I asked her to do this.
Oh,
really?
Because I just was looking for co-hosts and we just did a test and I was like, hey, will you come in?
Yeah.
Because my two greatest friends that, not to discount Grace as my co-host, but like they would have been my besties.
Yeah.
They both moved to other countries.
Wow.
So I
okay.
was like, hey, Grace, do you want to come just do this test with me? And then the guys here were like, she's brilliant. And I was like, Grace, can you stay? And she's amazing. I love her. She's so good.
You obviously like had a connection or like
Yeah.
chemistry with her at
That's
work.
amazing.
Though.
The banter is great. Yeah, she's really funny. And our podcast, we just laugh about embarrassing stories, similar to my wee van story.
Yeah.
It's just like we get
The
followers.
wee van. I didn't know what you said.
The wee van.
The wee van.
You know van?
The piss van.
The piss van, yeah. The R. Kelly van or something.
Oh, shit.
Too soon, sorry.
You know what? Actually, funny. I actually had his songs on shuffle, came in my playlist, and I had to undo it. I was like,
Yeah, you
I
have to
can't be
delete
seen with this,
them.
so I deleted him from my
Imagine
playlist.
if that song was playing while I was having sex with that man in the van. That would have been ironic. That would have been funny.
That would have been.
Was there music playing in the van, or was
No, it was silent. Just the waves of the ocean.
and
that's kinda
the waves?
romantic.
and the
trickle of
the
my
trickle of the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but Grace and I, we're good. We're good fun. We're good friends, and we rarely fight.
You were telling us before that Grace is now pregnant.
No, she had a
Oh,
baby.
she had the baby.
Yeah. So end of January, she had her baby.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes, and Grace
congrats.
had a little boy. She
Aw.
announced she was pregnant on episode 3. So when we first started, I didn't know she was pregnant. And then
Wow.
third recording, she's like, I have to tell you that I'm pregnant. And I was like, whoa, okay.
Should have waited till it was on air.
Nah. Well, she did do it on air.
Oh, she
Yeah.
But then like the whole podcast, because we've been going for 10 months, has been like her pregnancy journey,
That's
which
so
has been fun.
exciting.
But we have very contrasting views of dating and relationships because she's engaged and has a baby and I'm severely single, as I said. So we have nice banter contrast.
It's a perfect light and
It
shade
really
for a
is.
podcast.
It was accidental, but it was great. It was magic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We've gone so completely off
we've
script
kinda gone
everywhere,
off
so
script.
it's fine.
That's so
So
fine.
we're like questions for being on.
Do you want to take us through what type of content you guys cover on the podcast?
Yes.
For anyone who wants to listen.
So we cover like a different. Every episode we do a thing called Tell Me About It, which is similar to your hotline.
Yeah.
We ask my followers on Instagram, I ask them to like tell me about a topic. And a lot of the time it revolves around dating, but sometimes we do like reasons you weren't friends with someone anymore or like workplace horror stories, puberty horror stories. And so like
I
we'll
love
have
that.
a different theme for every episode and we basically just read embarrassing stories.
So
And we just laugh.
good.
Do
We
you have
just
any
giggle.
funny ones that you can think of?
It's a really long story, but I just released the edit on my Instagram this week and it just went off. It was this girl in puberty. She was 13 and she went to like a theme park and she was wearing like a really loose bra and she developed big boobs really early. She was like a D cup and she was 13.
Yeah.
She went on one of those like claw shape rides.
Oh, I know the one.
And the ones where they strap you in and like it goes so fast that you have like no control over your limbs and everything like flaps around. And as soon as the ride started, her boobs came completely out of her shirt and her bra.
Oh my god.
And they were like flapping around midair. Because her arms, she had no control. She couldn't hold them. She couldn't hold them in. And because of like this claw, she was in this like circle. So
And the
everyone,
velocity.
Oh
no, but, like,
my
they
god,
weren't
everyone could
behind
see.
her.
No, but-
She's in this huge circle, so everyone's watching, but she couldn't move her head, so she was just like locked in this eye. Like this is her, just fucking flopping.
That's
Trauma.
hell. That's actually, she needs to go to therapy after
Imagine
that.
if you were sitting opposite a standing officer
You
or
wouldn't
whatever.
want to look like
You would
you-
want
I
to do like
close my
this.
You can't move your head either, so you're just like, yeah, poor girl. And then like we were saying, we were laughing because like once it stops, it kind of stops midair and like slowly returns to the ground.
Oh, poor
Imagine
girl.
if like you still couldn't and you had to wait for the guy to release you from the seat before you could tuck your boobies in.
That's such a shame. I
She was
feel so.
13.
That's actually fucked.
No, at any age that would have been fucked, but at 13.
That's way worse.
shame.
Yeah.
But we love that she had a sense of humour and she sent that story in for us to laugh about. It was
Yeah,
good
that's-
fun.
that's
So
gold.
that's kind of the stories we get, or like
Yeah.
wee stories, poo, lots of poo stories.
We had a poo story
What's-
on our hotline.
We talk about poo almost every episode. It's
Stop
fun.
it.
It's
What's-
fun.
I mean, I don't.
We don't want to turn this into a poo episode.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
we're gonna-
Sorry, okay.
Well, you
Get
can
away.
tell if
Get
you-
away from the feces.
Yeah.
We
People
had
are-
a story. We did a wedding episode about like weddings being stupid and like horror stories from weddings. And this guy, her boyfriend, had like soiled himself, shat his pants, and put his soiled underwear in her handbag. And he realized when they were going home.
Why would he keep the underwear?
I don't know.
Do you want to throw the new CKs
I
out?
don't know.
Just-
New Calvin Klein. When they were going home, they realized that they weren't in her handbag. He put them in someone else's handbag.
That's fucked.
Imagine opening your Louis Vuitton handbag and there's a pair of used soiled
You're like, who the
CKs.
fuck did I piss off? Like, what the heck?
That's actually cool.
What a weird wedding favour.
We were listening to your podcast this morning, but I'm going to have to tune in more often because
Yes.
these are wild.
These-
They're good fun.
Okay, we have a couple of listener questions
Cool.
for you that
Oh,
we're going to
great.
ask you next.
I
You wanna
don't.
start?
I don't have them.
Just at the bottom.
Right there.
I don't read the script. I think it's quite.
It's fine. Grace does no prep, and she actually has never listened to an episode. She literally shows up, records, and goes home.
That's so good.
We love it.
That's so good. That's... be the one that does all the work.
I'm a makeup
You do
control
because
freak, though.
you listen to him because you want make sure everything. But I'm just
Well, you should do.
Anxiety, yeah.
I'm just like
Anxiety monster's like, you shouldn't have said that.
well,
Yeah.
on anxiety.
Yes.
A couple of TikToks of yours have focused on anxiety. Do you suffer from anxiety at times?
Yes, and it's only become a thing for me since becoming a content creator. I was
Really?
had like zero mental health issues. Well, everybody does. But like I was pretty secure before being a content creator, but having so many people's eyes on you and your opinions, I got really frightened, and there was a time when I was like really anxious.
That's scary.
People don't realize the anxiety that comes with sharing when you have a platform. Like I remember
It's full on.
I remember I posted one time, and like Jen couldn't just understand why I was getting so anxious about it. Like something was off, and I could see. And she's like, "No one can see that." And I'm like, "No, they're gonna like." It was just Jen.
If you focus on it.
You focus on it, and it fucking just throws you up. No one gets it unless they're in that sort of industry.
Yeah, and even being in a podcast like this, like sharing my own personal stories, because the great thing about my content is it's acting and it's a skit, and I'm hiding behind a character and a script. Whereas on the podcast, I'm sharing my stories, and like that wee story I shared in our very first episode, and I was like, it was just me and Grace in a room having a laugh, and then once it came out, I was like, thousands of people have heard this story.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck me, I really shouldn't have shared that, and I did.
But I love it because it makes you so vulnerable and relatable.
Right.
And like, thank you for sharing that with us, because it, you know, it is nice to just see the true person.
Yeah.
But
I've
100%,
never-
it's so like
I don't get
anxiety
angry.
inducing.
I don't get it over that.
No?
No,
What do you get it
do.
over? I get it over everything.
About posting more and what
Yeah.
people say, over sharing stuff about myself. I'm pretty open with that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. I feel.
I kind of feel like the more your content, like the better your content does, or for me personally, the more anxious I get.
Yes.
So if my
This is
engagement's
true, yeah.
really high, there's more eyes on me.
Yep.
There's more positive, but I always focus on the negative,
Yep.
which is so toxic.
It's always
and I
the
wanna
loudest voice.
Yeah.
Mm.
Even
Like
though
I
it's
could
just-
have like thousands of positive, and I'll have 5 hate,
Yeah.
and I'll be like,
It's burned into your brain.
Yeah,
You
they're the
always-
ones that-
Yeah, I do the same. And that's where it's come from. That's where the anxieties come from. Because you're just like,
Yeah.
who's going to send that one comment that's going to make me feel shit for the rest of the day? Even though thousands of people have sent you like
I just
so much
don't.
love.
I just don't.
Yeah.
Like,
You just don't care?
yeah.
I wish.
That hate, like that doesn't get me.
I just
I
think
wish.
like
I'm more in my own head with that sort of stuff
Yeah.
than other people.
Is
I
it
don't-
like you being critical of your own self?
Yeah,
You're
my
right.
own
It's
self.
your own
One thing I'm
self-hatred.
thinking about as well is one that like my upper half was tanned and my bottom half wasn't in this photo, and it was pretty evident that
Yeah.
like I hadn't tanned my legs. And I was just wigging out about it, and I was like, "People are gonna know that like I tanned, right? Like, I'm pretty open about tanning. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care. I tan.
I tan Matt's face every episode.
Yeah, like I tan. I don't because I don't want to see it in the sun. Like,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
no,
like
good.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll fake tan, but
Yeah.
like I hadn't done my legs, and it was fucking so obvious. And I
Yeah.
was just wigging out, spiraling on the side of Elwood.
Yeah.
and then,
No, I do the same. I like focus on image sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Like I've reshot stuff because I'm like, oh, I had like a little smudge on my eye, so I got to reshoot that because my makeup was fucked. Or I've done that
Yeah,
for sure.
it's hard.
Yeah. Well, like you're in the public eye and people are viewing you, and like if you can see it, they can see it, and then you get scared.
Yeah. I just wish people wouldn't troll. We are anti-bully ambassadors, and we
Yeah.
really
hate
like
trolls.
hate trolling, hate bullying, and like we just like I just hope that one day we can like live in a world where people are maybe held accountable, because it does affect people.
It does.
Really does.
They
and
forget that we're people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
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 We have feelings too.
Yeah. Yay.
Okay, so we've talked about the stomach ones, haven't we?
Yeah.
Um,
about then the alcohol
Oh yeah.
checks into the party.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of our listeners have asked, even although you seem to have it all together, tell us about one of the things that you struggle most with adulting.
I don't have it together. Like, if that's what it seems like, that's hilarious, and thank you so much. But I am such a hot mess. Like, I just think that, like, most of the adulting things I just procrastinate, like accounting, finances, savings.
I still haven't done my
Same.
tax return.
No, since when?
Since like last year. Like,
I now have an accountant who does it. But like, I had a conversation with my accountant the other day, and I was like, I don't know. I'm holding the phone out. I'm just like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
literally all I say is I don't get paid to do this. You do.
Exactly.
I would be doing this and I'd be getting
No.
paid to. That's what I tell them. Yeah.
Please, I don't need to think about it. You went to school for this. I don't have to understand
I don't.
that.
I'm paying you to know.
I wish I
Yeah.
did understand understand it though, to be honest. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, and I just like
The fuck's an
cleaning.
ABN?
What is that?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, so most of it, cleaning, cooking, all of it. Like I think that once I get my dog, I'm gonna have to really grow up because I have
You're gonna be a mama.
I'm gonna be a mum, mummy.
Do you think that the
Yeah,
dog will
mummy.
make you more responsible and it will teach you
Absolutely.
responsibilities?
Yeah,
Not
because also
thinking.
like,
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
I
The
think
same
so.
thing.
I'm responsible for someone else. I also think it's going to do great things for my mental health because I'm going to like be forced to leave the house because right now I think that like in terms of being an adult, I know what's best for me, but I'm not going to do it because I'm just too
Yeah.
lazy. And I'm just like, I know that getting out of the house and going for a walk, for that stupid mental health walk is going to be better for me, but I'm not going to do it. But if I have a dog,
then you have to.
You have to do it.
I'll have to do
Or
it
you'll
for him.
feel bad because you'll be like, oh, okay, fine, I'll take you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, none of it's together. And that's why like a lot of my skits is about being a mess because it's like literally my life.
I love it. I feel like we're all a mess, right? We're all just
Nobody.
trying to get by.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody
No
has
one
their shit
really
together.
knows what they're doing.
You can act
even
like through,
people who
yeah,
look like
they
it.
have no idea.
But,
And
like, when we were kids though,
My-
and you saw people our age, they were like,
Yeah.
oh, they know what they're doing.
my dad had me and my sister at my age. What the
Crazy.
fuck?
How old are you?
27,
Yeah.
28.
Yeah.
He had
no.
me like,
My dad was 24.
yeah, I think he got married at like 24 and had
What?
me. I was a couple of years older. I was 26.
Babies.
It's crazy.
24.
How?
I was binge drinking at like just some random night, like not having kids.
Yeah,
It's
No, I
wild.
can't. I am a baby. I can't have. No. How? I don't know. It's a different time.
Yeah.
It's a different time.
It is a different time.
There is people though that these days that do it, but
Great. My co-host Grace, she's 25. She's 25 and she
See,
just had a
there you
baby.
go. I kind of love seeing young mums just like killing it and just being like, look, this is hard and I'm just going to
Figure it
rally
out.
through and
Yeah.
figure it out.
I mean, you'd
It's
have
like
to.
inspiring.
You have to grow up quickly if you're having a
Yeah,
kid. You have
you
to
do.
grow up. I have a question.
Yes.
Would you ever do a stand-up routine? Because you're obviously quite funny
Yeah.
and witty.
I get asked this all the time. Maybe. I think
You
that.
should.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to do one by the end of the year. Do you want to do one? If we both do one?
You guys
Like a
should do one
challenge?
together.
Yeah. Should we do one like at the same
What if
thing?
we're both bad though? Those
I
people
want
need
to-
a refund.
I actually,
No way,
I
you guys will
actually
be
want
hilarious.
like if I be bad, that's part of it.
If I be bad.
And if I'm bad, sorry,
Good
I'm already
start.
not starting well. But what I'm literally going to come out, my opening line will be, if like I am not trained, like leave now if you want to get a refund, I'll pay your ticket. Like, that'll just be my opening line. So I've given them
Yeah?
the opportunity, yeah.
You
Yeah,
guys should
I
do
think
it.
so. I think the only thing I would like hate the rejection. I don't know how I would
Guys,
handle
I'll
it.
laugh. I'll be there. I'll just be
Paid
like,
actors, put you in the audience, just like get him going.
Well, yeah, you should,
You
enough
need
of your friends would be there to
Yeah.
support you and
And
laugh.
surely you get recognized all the time from TikTok, do
Yeah,
you?
yeah, all the time.
Really?
It happens on my dating apps now too, which is a bit of a weirdo.
Don't
So I'm
lie,
like,
you've got to link straight to TikTok so they know who you are.
every
Just
photo
add
is just
some-
a video.
add some-
Yes, it's your video.
All my skits?
Yeah.
No, I try to like not make it seem that way, but when
Oh.
people like match or like my profile, they'll write a comment, and I'm just like, I don't know if that's turning me off or not. 'Cause I'm like, but yeah, it happens a lot.
How do you like announce to the people you're dating what you do?
I haven't.
I have
I
TikTok
have social
and-
media. Most of the time, they'll either be two people that like understand and know who I am when we match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've seen me pop up, or they'll be like, "Oh, I recognize you. I thought I knew your face,"
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
if they weren't
yeah.
like a follower.
Yeah.
And then people who are just like, "I don't even know what that is. I don't have social media. It's like I don't even understand."
What one do you prefer?
I was about, yeah, what one do you...
Probably the one who does know, because one
Yeah,
time I had a
makes it
date with a
easier.
guy who knew nothing, and we ran out of conversation because I was like, I literally cannot tell you about my job. Like, you don't actually understand or
get
have
it.
an interest in what I do, and this is like
Yeah.
my whole life. So like, how are we meant to?
But what did he do for a job?
I can't even remember, but he was one of those like, he doesn't drink coffee, but he has cacao powder with lukewarm water and shots it in the morning.
That's enough.
Hmm.
That's enough to not have that.
Yeah,
is
that's
a,
a no.
That is
That's
a
a
no.
strong no.
That is just not on.
Bye.
Yeah.
Next. See you later. Well, actually, the whole date, he just told me what he ate that day, ingredient by ingredient. So.
Is that an
Like,
ick or a
each
red
to their
flag?
own.
That was
not
Like,
for me.
yeah, that's
That's
not
good
on.
on it. Yeah.
That's
Well, like he was like kale, spinach, chili, and I was like, I'm out. Bye.
Calorie count and make this
Well,
count.
look, we've been in a sauna here this
It's hot.
whole podcast. It is very hot. So we are going to go.
Yes.
But we are now going on Maddie's podcast. And make
Yes.
sure you tune into that one as well if
Yes.
you want to see
Exciting.
even more content from the three of us. Maddie, thank you so much.
Thank
We've
you. It's been a
loved having you on
pleasure.
the
It's been a
podcast.
Thank you for
pleasure.
having me. It's been real
Thank
fun.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Oh my God, are you dying? I'm
It's
so
really hot.
hot.
quick video.